Good day, everyone, and Salam Alaikum. On behalf of Global Enterprise Connect, I welcome all the attendees to this episode of CXO Newswire. I'm pleased to welcome with us Abdul Rehman Tariq, the Regional Sales Director at SolarWinds. So welcome, Abdul Rehman.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. Abdul Rehman Tariq is responsible for the Middle East, Turkey, and English-Speaking Africa. He leads the company's sales strategy, manages direct and indirect sales, manages the business development, and fosters channel partnerships. So, Abdul Rehman, I'd like to start first by inviting you to describe your job role at SolarWinds and give us a brief overview of your flagship products. And has AI really been embedded? Where are we on the AI integration part for your products? Go ahead.
First of all, again, thank you so much. And I think you've done a better job at my introduction than I ever could. As you said, my name is Abdul Rehman. I lead the sales and channel team here in the Middle East, Turkey, and English-Speaking Africa. I've been with the company for 5 years, and it's been an amazing journey so far. But as you said, with AI, I think the journey is again starting all over again. So for us as SolarWinds, AI is no longer just a feature, right? It's almost becoming the operating system of how our products are going to be thinking in the future. We recently announced something called as SolarWinds 1, SW1, which is the agentic AI system. So this is going to be the centerpiece of our strategy. It's not a chatbot. It's not just an alert and you put something in and you get a response. It's purpose-built. It's a digital teammate for observability, incident response, and service management. It's built to coordinate tasks and task agents to perceive the environment, reason through a problem, and take autonomous action to resolve it. So it's going to be your buddy in the data center to help reduce time to detect, time to resolve, and mean time to incidents. Now, on top of that, obviously, we have our flagship product, which is the SolarWinds Observability Platform. Now, this is our unified AI Ops observability platform, which is available both as self-hosted and as a SaaS. It gives the IT teams comprehensive visibility across hybrid architecture, modern cloud-native applications, and it uses machine learning to detect anomalies and correlate events before they happen. Now, we've also got two solutions that not a lot of people know about. There's the database performance management. It provides deep AI diagnostic that pinpoints performance bottlenecks. So, a lot of people use databases, but sometimes don't realize where the issues are. So our database performance management solution really helps out find those bottlenecks or those issues. And then we've got the service desk, which is the ITSM platform. And this basically ties everything all together. It's the AI-powered service platform that automates ticketing, asset management, and user support. It was the first product in our portfolio to embed generative AI. And now it's fundamentally changing how IT teams basically work and resolve issues together.
Fantastic. Great stuff. Let's go a bit more deeper into what's happening in our region. Over the last 60 days, we have seen unprecedented conflict, something that many businesses and even technology vendors haven't gone through. Before we go more into what exactly is happening, has there been some changes from the market in terms of requests for SolarWinds products, services, anything that has changed in your dynamics? Go ahead.
Yeah, one of the common threads we've seen is the sense of urgency. IT leaders in the region are now going to make decisions faster because they understand that visibility, speed, and automation are not just a competitive advantage, they're required to thrive at the moment. The one thing that what I realized is with this conflict in this situation, it takes you back to 5-6 years ago when COVID happened. It's people working from home. A lot of people had to move. Some people left the country and now coming back. So from a IT perspective, it's literally done the same thing again. How's the user experience? How are the IT teams resolving issues? Is somebody sitting in, for example, the UK or in South Africa or even in the US, and they're trying to work or they're trying to access applications or access data here in the UAE? The IT teams are still held to task, right? And we don't know whether it's a coffee shop Wi-Fi issue or whether it's an actual application in the data center issue. So this is where SolarWinds Observability is providing that holistic view, that single pane of glass to all the IT teams, whether you're on the database side, whether you're on the application side, whether you're on the network side, and see where the bottlenecks might be. The other thing is, again, as I said, because of this conflict and the urgency, getting things up and running quickly is always going to be important. We heard about the outage for Amazon, for example, and Azure as well. How do we get back to providing the services that the customers need, and in this case, the end users need? That's where SolarWinds was able to provide a lot of our existing customers that visibility, and then also remediation and orchestration as well to make sure that people don't get impacted.
Great stuff. Really enjoy listening to your answers, Abdul Rehman, because you're always right on target. I think the comparison with COVID is absolutely valid, and the ability for SolarWinds products to identify what exactly is it, a network, is it a access point, is it the latency. These are really fundamental operational things which you mentioned. Let's go a little bit more. Now, one of the things which has come up is this concept about resilience, because the ability of an organization, first it used to be purely physical, and we used to have a bit of business continuity, disaster recovery. But based on this collective feedback which has been coming to SolarWinds from all your customers in the region, do you feel that the concept of resilience, as understood by your customers and by the teams, regional teams, is there a change? And if you were to sit and describe what is resilience today from their perspective, from your perspective, how would you actually define it? Over to you, Abdul Rehman.
That's a great question. First of all, a lot of the regional enterprises here require resilience. What does that mean? Because we are in a multi-vector environment of stress. There is so many things happening, supply chain disruptions happening, connectivity threats, cyber risk is there, economic volatility is there. There's so many things happening. You cannot simply recover from a single landscape. Again, going back to the COVID example as well, there were so many different vectors, so many different things happening. There's not just one point that you can pinpoint on. So definitely being resilient and being able to operate in that resilience is very important for regional enterprises. For us as SolarWinds, we define operational resilience where business continuity obviously is important. You have to evolve. So there are three shifts. The first and very important shift is from being reactive to proactive. You cannot sit back and now wait for things to happen. Right. So that's where resilient organizations today are using AI observability to detect issues before they become the incidents. Again, going back to the AWS outage or any cloud provider outage for that matter. And then we also had some regional challenges as well in terms of connectivity. There were a lot of cyber attacks that were part of this entire episode as well. So we're not waiting for alerts. That's where SolarWinds Observability and SolarWinds One plays a very important role to make sure that your landscape is ready for what comes next. The other thing is we can't be siloed. It has to be an integrated setup. So in SolarWinds era of operational resilience is characterized by breaking down the barriers between just the monitoring, just the incident response and service management, and make that into one holistic view. That's where, for example, if there is an issue in either an end user or an app or a database, the system should be automated. It should be able to not just create a ticket, but also provide the remediation. And again, in this current situation, we all know that we're short a little bit on manpower as well. And that's where us as SolarWinds and vendors need to provide that support to the customer. So we become this single nervous system, and that's where the organizations take full advantage. The third thing is from manual to automated. Now, again, as I said, in a lot of organizations that we're talking to, we see manpower challenges as well. And that is where if we have an IT team, which unfortunately has been downsized or is not working at full capacity, how can we as SolarWinds provide the customers orchestrators instead of operators, right? So they should be able to automate some tasks, get some remediation and escalation done quickly, and support the customers. One thing I would like to add here is in the UAE, in general, has shown us what the true meaning of resilience is in the last few months, right? We, as the UAE, are an example of resilience. Everybody's rallied together. We've seen a lot of the organizations come to support each other, the government to come support the people around here as well. So for me, as somebody who's born and brought up here in the UAE, lived here my whole life, I'm really proud to be part of this setup and to be able to help the customers go on their resilience journey, which is now a necessity for everybody.
Fantastic. Great points you mentioned over there, especially the three pillars for resilience. And of course, the great initiatives being taken by the country that we live in, which is UAE, in terms of innovating on all aspects of life. Let's go to the next aspect. We heard an instance where a hyperscaler has been exposed to conflict environment for the first time anywhere in the world. And of course, that resilience, that idea of resilience has changed a lot. But if I look at the portfolio of SolarWinds, which you just mentioned, and we look at the various technical aspects of resilience, which is business continuity, disaster recovery, today multi-cloud as not just one cloud region, but multiple cloud regions, automation. Give us an idea of how managing these aspects is actually embedded now in, or how SolarWinds can best manage these technical aspects of support, which are actually also building resilience. Go ahead, Abdul Rehman.
Yeah. See, the one thing we have to realize is to make an enterprise, whether it's a government account or a bank or anything for that matter, it's not a single project. It's a journey. It's a maturity journey, right? We're starting from monitoring, we're moving towards observability. So it's not just one single project. Now, how we work with the customers is, first of all, we have to provide them comprehensive, continuous visibility. You cannot protect or you cannot recover what you cannot see, right? That means deploying observability across the full stack: network, systems, databases, application, and cloud services. I don't think there is any organization who will say they want to go full cloud or they want to go full on-prem. It's always going to be a hybrid platform moving forward. So that's where SolarWinds Observability provides this unified view across both platforms with AI-driven anomaly detection that provides continuous support even when it's not business hours. We don't have anything called business hours anymore, right? Everybody is trying to access something, whether it's from a 9 to 5 time or even at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. The other thing is we have to provide business continuity backed by real data. So as a leader, you should always assume that your live infrastructure data is being accessed. SolarWinds network and systems management tools help these leaders ensure that their plans can be current and executable. We have to have an automated DR, right? SolarWinds provides the monitoring infrastructure to validate those DR environments are healthy and ready. And our automation capabilities allow failover sequences to be triggered and monitored programmatically rather than manually, right? So you don't have to do this as a manual test. It's a program that you can run through. Intelligent automation at scale. Now, IT complexity is increasing, as we discussed. Some teams are not in the ground. Some teams are not even in the same country or in the same time zone. So it's very important to automate some routine tasks like patch deployment, backup verification, performance remoting, but also at the early stage of incident response, alert triage, runbook execution, and stakeholder notification. Now, this is where SolarWinds One SW1 embeds this capability directly into the workflow. So the IT teams can define automation policies once and let the agentic AI execute it. And then again, going back to the same point I said before, we have to avoid silos and integrate incident response. Resilience breaks down at the seam between these tools. So when the network monitoring system does not talk to the ticketing system and the ticketing system does not talk to the on-call management system, there is a critical time lost between manual hold-offs. Somebody is taking a report, giving it to somebody else, somebody's giving it to somebody else. That's the amount of time we don't have, we can't afford to lose. So SolarWinds has this integrated observability incident response through the Squadcast acquisition and ITSM into one incident lifecycle. And this is a game changer when it comes to making enterprises and customers resilience.
Great stuff. Quite a detailed answer over there. But let's go to a snapshot. So if you were to look at the areas where SolarWinds is actually innovating based on, let's say, the arrival of agentic AI, automation, reducing complexity, how would you actually summarize the types of innovations? You mentioned quite a few things, but if you were to just give an overall view and a summary of what innovations are happening, how would it look? Go ahead.
For us, the major point of innovation and the talking point, something we discussed on SolarWinds Day is also SolarWinds One, right? SolarWinds One, which is the agentic AI platform, in the coming quarters will extend it beyond insights and provide service reliability and provide governance, autonomous issue resolution. So some of the new capabilities that we can discuss and we can release to the people is improving operational health. SolarWinds One SW1 will predict SLO, SLA risk and enable proactive intervention, including generating runbooks, workflows, scripts, etc., etc. Now, there is an important thing about onboarding as well. So we want to streamline onboarding and time to value. It will automatically discover unmanaged assets and recommend monitoring coverage. Will create an initial dashboard, alerts, and services. So you don't have to do those things manually. Most important thing for us is to reduce alert noise. Again, with truncated teams, with reduced manpower, you cannot answer or address every alert that comes to you as a human. Right? That's where SolarWinds One will filter, duplicate, or low-value alerts, correlate them to the signals, and surface the most critical and actionable ones. And then strengthening the security and compliance. Built on the SolarWinds AI by design principles, SolarWinds One will extend governance with customers-defined guardrails to help ensure compliant, policy-aligned actions. What we want to do is move from the operator to the orchestrator, and that is what SolarWinds One is purposely built for. We will also share some more data with everybody here. We can send you the links, and you can read through exactly what SolarWinds One will be providing from autonomous IT perspective. SolarWinds One is literally built for making it a reality, making it easier to gather and act on AI-generated insights, establish trust in AI outputs, and serve as a central command for IT pros. Again, it is not a chatbot. You don't put in information and then it looks through the entire data and gives you something. This is your partner in the data center with you.
Great stuff. I like some of the points which you mentioned, especially about the noise part. That's something that IT a nightmare for IT administrators when they have too many and they don't know where to start looking. So great stuff over there. But Abdul Rehman, now obviously SolarWinds implemented in a large number of regional customers, using your products on an enterprise scale to manage operations, their IT operations, business operations. And definitely you have a reasonably good idea of what is successful and what is not successful, which businesses are moving forward or accelerated in IT maturity and which aren't. So if you were to look down the line at what type of organizations are definitely going to survive or leap ahead in the next couple of years, what are the criteria that's making it happen, what they should be doing? How would you actually summarize what's going to separate the pace of the enterprises, especially in the region?
For me, and again, for us as SolarWinds in general, organizations with the best opportunity for growth are investing in an integrated observability platform and laying the foundation for AI-assisted operations at scale, right? So again, not chatbots, AI-assisted, man in the middle. Of course, you have that human in the middle who orchestrates everything and gets AI to help them out. Our goal is to empower them to be resilient through whatever the environment throws at them, so that the extraordinary talent in their organizations can focus on building, growing, and serving their customers. We don't want people just to be ticket collectors or incident handlers. We want them to build and grow in the organization and help those customers grow as well. So as the privately held company following the acquisition of Turn River, we have the investment and the operational focus to accelerate this vision. We're moving faster than at any point in our 25-year-old history. And we are a company that started this whole monitoring sort of revolution. And now with the innovation and the pipeline behind SolarWinds One and SolarWinds Observability, it reflects that momentum as well. So for us as SolarWinds, we are prepared for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And we have the speed, we have the momentum to grow as the organizations and the challenges grow as well. Right. Again, with the announcement of SW1, with the acquisition of Squadcast as an incident response tool, the ITSM, the database, observability, all bundling into a single platform, the customers are now ready to grow with us, and we are ready to grow with those customers. And that is what's going to happen. If you're not looking at observability as the tool, if you're not looking at AI as the man in the middle to support you, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. You're going to be left behind. And that's where the challenges are going to catch up with you. So that's where SolarWinds is ready to support.
Great stuff over there. Any key takeaways would you like to share before we close the session? Anything that you would like to really emphasize on? Go ahead.
Again, for us, from a SolarWinds perspective, it's very important to identify and show the customers that we are here to support them, especially during these tough times. SolarWinds invested a lot in the region, in the Middle East. We have a full team here. We have a full team in other parts of the region as well. So we're here to support the customers during these tough times, make sure that they're ready. We don't know what's going to happen next, but there's a lot of uncertainty as well. And that's where I want to assure the customers and our partners and everybody who's worked with SolarWinds that we're here to support you guys. If you need anything, you'll always be able to reach out to us. I would also request the people who work with SolarWinds or looking at SolarWinds to review SolarWinds One, the agentic AI platform. If you have any questions about that, please let us know. Again, don't think about it as a chatbot or don't think about it as a chat GPT tool that where you put in some information and get some data and then you have to action it. Think about it as your friend now in the data center, and that's what's going to make your organization and you resilient and also give you, as I said, enough time and some ability to do something more than just be reactive and address issues as they pop up rather than be ready for what's going to happen next. Again, thank you for this opportunity. It was absolutely great talking to everybody here as well. I'm approachable on LinkedIn, and if you need any contact information, I'm sure you guys can share that with the customers as well.
Fantastic. Abdul Rehman, absolutely brilliant walkthrough on the SolarWinds portfolio, on what end customers should be doing, and on the availability of SolarWinds to manage their challenges as we go forward. So with that, on behalf of Global Enterprise Connect, I would like to thank all the attendees here for listening and sitting through this episode of CXO Newswire, and look forward to engaging with you once again in future episodes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.